back, Heba here. Today's part 2. I will be delving a little deeper, taking it deeper into the power of true manifestation, and I will be talking about where the law of attraction comes from and how the law of attraction in fact hijacked the concept of true manifestation. So I will be delving into that today and exploring the techniques that don't work, or that we are told do work under the law of attraction, and those that actually work and why. So it'll be an interesting session for everyone, but especially people who are finding and realizing that law of attraction didn't really work for them. There's a reason for that. So I'm going to go into all that today. This will be another hour or slightly over episode. So stay with me to the end and participate in the chat if you like. So today I'll be sharing manifestation techniques that work and others that don't. And trigger warning, if you're attached to the New Age concept of the law of attraction, and consider that the law of attraction is the greatest law that ever existed, today's video will challenge these views. Because this isn't a feel-good and a hyped up post, it's raw truth. It's meant to clear illusions, not add more layers of falsity and false light and love. So there is a reality, and that reality is undeniable. True manifestation is our ability inherently to appear and disappear at will. So evolve and come back at will. So this concept may be far-fetched right now, yes, but it is it is an inherent ability as angelic humans. In fact, I will be telling you something today that may trigger people, especially people who believe in the whole Jesus crucifixion story. Because the real Christmas story is very different. It's a story that we are told in the mainstream narrative as opposed to the true, real Christmas story from the CDT plates, the Cloister, Dora, Terra plates. This happened with the fallen angelics running reversal currents through Earth's grid, subsequently blocking the energy currents through our axiotonal lines in our body, which means blocking the certain currents and chakras. For example, the palm chakra. These mutations became the nails, okay? And as a consequence for this mutation, we lost the ability to run interdimensional frequency through the palms. This was important for us angelic humans with 12 double helix DNA strands, because we used to run the whole spectrum of frequencies and colors, the whole rainbow. We were running 12-dimensional currents and higher. Minimum 12 currents through our axiotonal lines that connect to the meridians, that connect to chakras, that connect to all our higher and lower body anatomy together. They blocked that ability as a consequence. So by blocking the grids in the earth, putting seals and implants and things, which led to us losing the power of manifestation. We used to manifest energy and frequency. Whenever we wanted something, we just wave the hand and we could make it appear. So this has become a problem for us now, because we think we're running energy, but we're not. We're running closed circuits. So we'll be talking a little bit about that today, giving a little background history and how that was lost and how to regain that potential. These days, most people actually don't use their palms with full intention. Energy often gets short-circuited because it doesn't flow all the way back into the primal fields and into the sound fields, unless someone's aligned with the freedom teachings, of course, and regaining that probability. In many New Age practices, rubbing the palms or connecting to the astral is very common, and they consider that the astral is the highest level there is, but that's only 4D out of the 12D minimum. So it's a lower frequency current. It's connected to, it runs chi and prana, not connected to the higher, not necessarily connected to higher kirashe and kundare, so sound and light and primal sound fields. And it's similar with the concept of the crown of thorns. Most people believe the crown of thorns is a woven circle of thorny branches placed on Jesus' head during the crucifixion. What the crown of thorns refers to is not the physical thorns placed on Jesus, but the energetic implants in the crown that act as a block for the key currents entering and passing through. So this, in effect, blocks primal currents integrating with the body and other things. And science validates that, because science has validated that, proven that the brain has shrunk. But what's really happening is a disconnection from higher dimensional identities, whether it's galactic, universal, or planetary spirals of creation. This misalignment took place. It reversed monadic template and limited the power of our true manifestation. Now the question is, can we still manifest through a closed circuit? Yes, we can. But manifestation, or while manifestation is possible through closed circuits, it tends to produce only surface level outcomes, fleeting, fragmented, and lacking harmonic resonance available through fully activated template. It lacks depth, in other words. It's the difference between temporary attraction and sustained creation rooted in multidimensional anatomy or alignment. So today I'll outline which techniques truly support this reconnection and which fall short. I'll also review other methods used in the New Age groups, not at all to endorse them, but as an educational point of contrast. There are significant misconceptions circulating around the internet around manifestation, and I feel compelled to speak to them directly. This is why we've created a detailed and discerning series to illuminate what truly works and what doesn't. So before we delve into the theme of this talk, I want to focus on a very particular and important cosmic event, so you have a little background about how we got here in the first place. We're in an interesting time right now where time is accelerating very, very rapidly. But I want you to become familiar with something called the stellar activation cycle, because this is important if you're watching my videos and really feel a resonance with them. You ought to know the stellar activation cycle that began in 2000, concluded in 2017, and what it was about. Basically, in a nutshell, I've delved into this very deeply in other videos, but in a nutshell, this is the period where the earth portals opened, and this is called the stellar activation cycle. So they're opened and activated, which means frequencies like 12-dimensional frequencies were anchored during this time. So that started in 2000. We're living in the post period of that now. We're living the outcome of the stellar cycle. And we've got the 12D dimensional frequency currents already anchored right now. Therefore, this is acting as an aid, or sometimes, in some cases, if a human template is very reversed, it's acting in a negative way. It's blocking them further and further because they're unable to integrate these very high frequency currents. And that's manifesting as disease or adversity, a lot of problems for that particular being. So we must understand what's happening in order to know what the changes are and what is really occurring in our bodies. We must know what's happening outside, in the earth, in the cosmos, in the galaxy. Okay, this is extensively outlined in the Freedom Teachings. If you like history, I recommend Voyages 1 and 2 to begin with, so you get a very good idea of how far this goes back. It goes back millions and billions of years. Right now, we're in the middle of a cosmic reset. This is like returning home after a long period of being away from home, after many lifetimes of being away from our home. This return happens through levels of activations in our radial body and density levels called harmonic universes. Think of these like frequency zones or tissue capsules. And from 2000 to 2017, the gates for these particular frequency zones opened up so that we have access to them. So this, in essence, allowed some people to activate and evolve into the next density level where others have missed it. It's not a punishment, it's a growth cycle. It's basically activates with your readiness for it. So it's not a punishment. It's if you're ready, you go through. If you're not ready, you have to wait for the next cycle. The last stellar cycle occurred around 22,300 BC. So 22,300 BC. And what that did is ended in a stalemate between two groups, the Christics and those that are fighting the Christics, who there's a term for them, and it's the FAs or fallen angelics. So this time period we're living now is a very important period, very interesting period we're living, because this current stellar cycle is that started in 2000. It's brought in strong winds, if you like, for us. We get pulses, extra energy pulses that help us expand faster and jump timelines. So time's accelerated in essence. Indigo children have the ability to do jumping timelines because they hold 24 to 48 DNA strands. So they, as a minimum, they have 12. And so indigo children anchor the dimensional 12 frequencies back into Earth. And for the first time since 208,000 BC, roughly, approximately, it's a little more, but I can't recall the exact date, but it's 208,000 BC that that was the last time Christos 12 codes were given to angelic humans and indigos, which was the ability to restore our divine blueprint. It's the last time we had that opportunity. Now, this is huge. This is a huge cosmic event because we have that ability once again. We are restoring our divine blueprint right now as we're integrating our ability to manifest, therefore, through the restoration of the flame body or activation of the flame body. This is very, very essential for us to awaken to our divine blueprint And all this is done through freedom teaching techniques. And I'll expound on these techniques in a bit. But essentially, in a nutshell, we evolve through bigger time cycles as we accrete more frequency. So more frequency means a different time cycle, because time isn't just linear, okay? Every time we accrete a bit more, think of this like your cash that's sitting in your safe. And when you keep putting cash in, okay, you keep accreting. When it reaches its maximum capacity, you're not going to get rid of the cash. You're going to upgrade your safe in order to fit more cash. So every time we take a new form with new codes, new frequencies, new colors, new perceptions are formed, the old version of ourselves is replaced with the new version. But you don't lose the old version. The memory of it, the imprint of it, the encryption of it is stored in something called the Akusha crystal, which holds memory imprint of all your lives. Not only that, but every thought, every action, every breath, everything that you did while manifest. So essentially, we never really disappear without a trace. We always have an imprint in an Akusha crystal. This becomes essential in the process of manifestation. Why? Because manifestation is not about doing something that you've never done before. It's about going back in memory, bringing your ability back through remembrance. It is a remembrance process. This manifestation requires you to do nothing but, I guess the law of attraction, here is where it falls short. It wants you to obsess about something. But you don't have to obsess about anything, because true manifestation is about your evolution. It's about you moving through expanded time waves, time cycles, and frequencies, opening up more layers of yourself to bring in higher consciousness. Essentially, the higher you oscillate, the more you can bring into your reality field through various layers of yourself, the ability to become a walking manifester with each and every breath. And not only when you sit and intend to manifest, like you do a 10-minute meditation where you focus on something and you think, okay, well, let's wait and see what happens. No, it's with each breath. It's with each and every breath and each and every hand movement, and each and every thought. So your thoughts become instantly manifest. And this is the ability we had before all this distortion and mutation happened. This is what we are restoring on the path, the freedom teachings. We are reclaiming our innate abilities and organic template. So, as you can see here, I've summed up a lot for you in just a little 10 minutes or so. But also, this is what I meant when I said true alignment. Basically, essentially, it's opening up layers of your being that you have denied access for so long. You've been denied access for so long. It's not about adding more and more doing, more and more things to do, techniques to do, steps to follow. It's about remembering, and that's done through certain and specific techniques. Seal removals, other things that have been taught through us through the FT body of work, which I'll outline some of these practices today in this session. So something else is happening right now that I will also mention, and that is the time is now moving very, very quickly. That's how we perceive it, at least from where we stand. So right now, expediting time is expediting our ability to manifest. I'll go into that a little bit more so you can understand the concept, especially if you are new to my videos. So I promised in part 2 this month to go a little deeper. So I want to give you a brief historical background before I really get into what really works and what doesn't work when it comes to manifestation. The first issue that people generally that want to manifest something, an object usually, or something in their lives, a change, a transformation, what they normally worry about is the concept of time, that things will take time. And people don't like to wait for something to happen. They like magic, but they don't want to learn how to yield magic. So I want to take you back to something that I find relevant to mention, is something called Judgment Day. And this is not in a biblical sense. It's completely detached from any religion. So this is non-biblical, right? It's basically Judgment Day is a point where our frequencies are assessed individually and collectively. And as a result of this assessment, something happened, and timelines split. Now, this already happened. This took place in August 12, 2003. And depending how people's templates were aligned, some people were judged, but not in a sense of like, how an Anunnaki god would judge the people. It was more of a cause and effect kind of thing where people were awakened to where they weren't aligned, what they weren't aligned to, and another group, it was a day of celebration for them. It's not that source picked the good and punished the bad. This is natural physics. This is natural law of physics. And what it is, the Judgment Day, for lack of a better name, but, judgment means it's more like, you got the result of what you were holding in terms of frequency. It's where the internal battle between the Christus seed atom and the Merkaba reversal reached a breaking point and they split up. One wins, one won, and either Christos or the Antichristos. So there was two paths created, Christos and Antichristos, and you either aligned with the Christos or with the Antichristos. It was a gentle split, very gentle, and this is what's termed as a second coming. It's actually a soft split between Christos and Antichristos groups, starting from one's own inner seed atom. Now, why is this important? Because truth is that a part of us that judges, that gets caught in that polarity, is actually held in DNA templates. If we hold and anchor frequencies from dimension 12 and up, we reconnect with our higher selves and we realize who we truly are and how deeply we are connected to everything. Every choice we make reflects higher or lower frequency, and that directly affects our ability to ascend. So it was very important to know whether your template was aligned with Christos or Antichristos path. And what path are you on now? It's never too late. It wasn't just like a fixed event. It was triggered then. And at every moment, you have a choice to decide your path. It's an ongoing thing. Okay? But there's a point we reach where that reclamation of the inner Christos seed atom becomes a little too late. Okay? So, for example, if part of creation has less than 31 to 33% of its original divine blueprint, then that's a low number of original divine blueprint. So in that case, this template, this being, will enter the path of diminishing return. And at that trigger point in 2003, that being would have felt like it was Judgment Day for them. Okay, something happened. Life gone real sour, and things just started to, downward spiral for them. Every day got worse and worse, whether it's disease, health, everything in life, their finances, relationships, whatever it may be, it just didn't feel the same. Their inner feeling, their inner peace also was maybe started to diminish. And then, go into a state of like dis-ease and lack of harmony, inner harmony, lack of peace, that sort of thing, mental problems. Now, for people who were holding more than 31 to 33% as divine blueprint, so the true Christos seed atom was still intact, they slowly began moving into the path of replenishing return. So this is us here right now. We're looking at ways to continue that replenishment, and to, finding ways to, or aligning ourselves with techniques that will help us embody that true power and connect with the true self. So that became 2003 trigger event became a day of celebration, not a day of judgment. So as of April 2003, from then onwards, we have the two timelines. Things sped up from that point. And now we're in the middle of the end to all this, the final conflict drama. And what we're in the midst of as well is a reclamation of our templates and dimensional blending and time acceleration, which means if you have chosen the Christic path, you will be manifesting a lot more faster than before because you're holding high frequency in your template. Every thought will be manifesting a lot more rapidly than before. So that's essentially in a nutshell what's happened and what's happening now, and why this time now is very, very important for us and for the collective. Now, there is a big group of people who still believe and absolutely adore something called the law of manifestation. It's not that we're ridiculing anyone or shaming anyone, because there is some validity in the law of attraction. It's just not as simple as they purport it to be. It's not like, I think I will give you a little bit of detail about that, because in case you're not really aware of what that entails, it's to me, I see it as becoming a little bit obsessed about something and thinking that you're going to manifest it that way. It really says that if you want to manifest something, think about it a lot, you can make it happen. And yes, look, this idea works a little bit, okay, especially when you're excited and feel deeply about what you're asking for. There's a lot of emotion, there's a lot of vision, something is bound to manifest. But here's the catch. If that excitement fades away and you stop feeling connected to that thing that you once were obsessed about, the thing you want may not stay in your life. You can't really call it yours anymore. Lots of people keep chasing things, hoping they'll find happiness and fulfillment, but after a while they end up feeling empty, like they're stuck going round in circles, wishing, wanting, chasing, without ever feeling truly satisfied. What they're missing is that true manifestation capacity is not something to earn, it's something to remember. So they've given so much power to imagination and wanting, it's an emotional body, but they forgot something so pertinent, and that's the true memory. So activation of the template, because you have special energy codes within your template. The secret lies in harmonic keys, sound keys, and when they turn on, we start to remember how to create our life in a very powerful way. You don't need long rituals or waiting around even, like you don't need to wait for years till something manifests. It's semi-instantaneous. You are the magic, your energy helps shape the world that you want. And once you're aligned, everything starts to click into place. You will no longer be just a passive observer sitting there waiting. You become the experiencer every moment in time, not watching reality unfold. Instead, you will be feeling the shift in real time. That's the difference. And of course, for indigos, it's a lot easier because they hold 24 DNA strands up to 48. That's 4 times more the average human template. Why? Because indigos that is, they've already lived through these time cycles before. Therefore, the genetic keys are already imprinted in the Akusha crystals, in their Akashic records. And by taking birth on Earth, many of these codes became distorted. So for a lot of indigos, this is not a creation. This is a remembering process. So it's a very, very profound thing. Now, if you remember, I said in the first series, I said we don't manifest through the body. We're always manifesting the body. We're manifesting a whole entire body. We're bringing it in and out of creation through various time cycles. When we hold enough charge, that is consciousness, when we hold enough consciousness in our body, we finish density 1. So we reach maximum accretion point, we finish one density, we graduate into another density. But we don't leave it behind, we embody it. We integrate it all, so we become larger, bigger, and hold more frequency. We don't leave the soul behind unless that part of you becomes trapped. And in fact, that had happened for a while here on Earth, which is rather tragic. We were trapped in time. Okay, so I won't go into that now. I'm tempted to, but I'll leave that for another time. So we graduate, we move through the seal into the next cycle that fits and matches our frequency. We're literally manifesting our way through all this, through time. That's why time is not linear. It doesn't grow bigger and bigger and bigger and become thousands and millions. And it is just a stamp. And it's a time that you enter when you match the frequency of that specific time wave. So essentially, we are plugged into creation spirals, and they're planetary, they're galactic, they're cosmic, and universal. And we must move in total rhythm through these, stay connected to them for full manifestation. Now, people may be thinking, okay, how do I connect to my cosmic spiral? Your cosmic, universal spiral, planetary spiral, galactic spiral are a part of you. They are your chakras. They're right here with you. You don't have to go to the end of the invisible universe to find them. They are a part of your morphogenetic field. They're right here. There's one 36 inches above your head. That's right there in your immediate access. It's arm length away. So you don't need to go far. Everything you need to access is literally right here within you right now. When things are distorted, that's the problem there, is we have access, but we've been denied access for a while because of what was because of all the seals and the implants that were put through the grid works of Earth, the planetary body, therefore the grid works of our inner consciousness. So we became very distorted, and our ability to manifest became finite and very limited. And that's when the law of attraction came in and made all these claims that if you do this and this and this, yes, you can manifest, but it's very limited and finite. The more aligned we are, the more we experience manifestation in the form of transduction, meaning we walk through the time cycles and we appear and disappear as at will. So you become the living transductor and manifester. Okay. Now, why explain all this? Because this is the transduction manifestation sequence. This is true manifestation. It starts with the chelon, it passes through our axiotonals, into the chakras, into the meridians, into tissue capsules, meage field, myons and dyons, atoms and cells, and it becomes manifest. And that's what you see on the physical. But manifestation uses all these levels of yourself. It's a co-creative process with source, and it's a flashing on and off, moving forward and back through time, constantly exchanging energy with source. Like it's perpetual. It's not just sitting down, asking source for 10 minutes to give us something and then forgetting about source, forgetting about your true alignment after that. It's a constant, perpetual remembrance. This information becomes essential if you really want to know how, why, and the nuances to regain ability to manifest. Okay, so now I will talk about the manifestation techniques. As I said, I'm going to discuss why some work and some don't. And I'm not saying they don't work at all. They do, obviously, putting the intention, emotions, thoughts in one place. It's bound to give you some fruit. But whether or not they're sustained, that's a different thing. Okay? They're just not optimal. And even when they do work, they may not hold up long term. Mainly I'm talking about manifesting objects, 3D objects. So if your goal is just to manifest 3D objects, that's where most of your consciousness is sitting. That's not a judgment, it's just how frequency works. What I'm talking about today is in reference to manifesting in the whole body through dimensions. This is called manifestation transduction, meaning energy shifting form. So you can manifest objects using this method, absolutely, because even though objects are inanimate, they too hold a frequency and a vibration. They have a breathing rhythm. They have an encryption. However, if you aim higher than 3D, you can get yourself out and into any realm, any frequency band that you wish. Once you understand the basics, you can apply them to anything. Okay? So this is about taking all the light you hold and expanding it to the next level, and then the next, and then the next. In Keylontic science, we're not taught that the body is sinful or disposable after death. If that's your belief, then these teachings will not work for you. They will not resonate because you're thinking ill of your body. You're thinking your body is disposable. Then these teachings will not work for you because this goes far and beyond just manifesting a car or a house or money. It's about healing distortions, activating your inner stargates, your inner map of consciousness, becoming a walking star and traveling through using your own quanta of light and your own Merkaba. However, I will make a bold statement here. Manifestation was hijacked by the law of attraction. True manifestation law was hijacked by the law of attraction. If I want to, just to be fair, I'll give it 10% credit. Partially true. You do need to match your frequency to that thing that you want. If you just want a car, fine, that's okay. You'll stay in 3D. Angelic humans never settle for 3D. They want more. They want to manifest and demanifest at will. Even if we're not fully there yet, that's what they're aligned to. They know deep down that they have the ability when galactic, planetary, and solar spirals, or galactic, planetary, and universal spirals of creation all line up. That alignment is what I talked about in the first video. So it's aligning the vortices, it's aligning the inner portals. Freedom teachings and Kelanting science offer specific techniques to enable the switched off buttons to come back online. But before doing them, you must understand how they work, the structure, the intention, purpose. So what we work with, I'll talk about that now. What we work with is, to enable that whole process, is we work with gold and silver currents. We work with amplified breath work, not the New Age breath work. That doesn't work. We work with the lotus breath. We work with capstones. So that's the primal light colors from the primal light fields, creative frequencies, and we focus on still point. As I talked about in the first video, we have to be still in the mind, bringing awareness to the now, using the breath and using mental focus. We use codes. Example, the Moda Dore, we use that code. We focus on giving back to source, not just taking, but giving back, because inability to give back to source is limitedness in yourself. Is limitedness. It's taking, not giving in return, in exchange. There becomes an imbalance. We have to work co-creatively with source, which means we take and we give. We work with the Azure. This is the thymus center here. The heart center, which I touched on that in episode 1. I highly suggest you watch it if you haven't yet. And we focus on alignment, planetary, galactic, and cosmic. And yes, I mean, they're big concepts, but not really. The process is quite simple. It's not impossible. It's not really. Like, maybe 100 years back, yes, because we didn't have the stargates. We didn't have the stargates open. But now we do. We have 12D anchored here. So these techniques are essentially what we need to align and more, okay? The alignment is essential for evolution of the soul. And these techniques are not just physical incarnational pursuits for a better life, to be more comfortable here. These are for your salvation, for your reclamation and restoration of you, your own memory, your divine angelic template. Okay. Now, I want to start with what does not work, because based on my own research and living experiences, I formulated, it's not too detailed. I'm just going to give you a snapshot of what's in my mind in terms of what doesn't work. This applies to any form of manifestation out there in New Age circles, whether you're trying to manifest your body through or just an object, same thing. So what doesn't work? What doesn't work is, 1, false positivity. It doesn't work because that's tricking your body, which means you're not aligned with what you feel and how you feel about yourself. Tricking your body into feeling good won't cut it. Faking a smile or pretending everything's fine it doesn't really shift vibration and frequency. Your body knows truth. It's an intelligent, I don't like to call it device. It's not. It's you. It's part of you. You hold light in your body cells just as much as you hold light in your light body and your spirit body. So your body, this amazing machine, okay, it knows truth, and all 5 of your identity layers all manifest together, and they all know the truth. And not just the truth about your thoughts and emotions, but also your intentions. So false positivity doesn't work for manifestation. So positive vibes only doesn't work. I don't know many people who manifested much that, keep up this false facade of happiness and bliss and all sorts of things. If they do manifest, it's a chance. It's by chance. And, even if it does work, it's not sustained, like I said. So that's 1. 2, breathing without alignment. Breathing without alignment, that doesn't work. Breath only works if your frequency is right. For creation, silver and golden tones together work. Red frequency, red frequency is connected to flight and fight. Is not a manifesting color. It's part of the whole picture, but there's New Age circles are pushing the idea that just think of red, have something red, and you can manifest. That's very far from the truth. If you need something fast, if you're in flight and fight, red may help, but not really. What else? Sometimes red may help if you have desires rooted in passion, security, that sort of thing. But even then, it's limited. It's not a manifestation color. Okay? There's other colors for manifestation. I'm going to get to that, but I just wanted to highlight this particular color because that's out there right now, and it's being pushed like it's the Holy Grail. The next thing that doesn't work on its own is journaling. So journaling works, that's why we created a journal, but journaling alone without true alignment doesn't work, because if your words clash with your deeper intentions, your higher self notices this discrepancy and any progress is going to stall. But when you write from clarity, from heart, and your desire is embodied in truth and your higher self, then journaling becomes important and a great tool for real transformation. Law of attraction is about 10% valid. It works at surface level, so manifesting from mental, emotional, and physical fields. But real manifestation draws from at least 4 out of 5 density levels. That's when your field becomes amplified and you begin to manifest with each breath. So I'll now revisit key ideas shared earlier and bring this segment to a close with some more clarity for you. So I'm going to strip it back and reveal what truly works now. The tools, the truths, and the codes that actually make a difference. They actually activate change within us. One thing I want to mention here for those new to the teachings is light is frequency, whereas sound is vibration. So if you haven't listened to any of my videos before, I just wanted to mention this here. When we contract our consciousness, this becomes vibration. It's sound, it's connected to sound. But when we expand through fission, we manifest as light. we turn into light, we flash on in the hologram. This is how it works, the dance between fission and fusion. And that's talked about in the freedom teachings. Now, if you tie this in with what you know so far about aligning intentions, sound, with action and movement, light, then you get this beautiful dance between expansion, contraction, between light and sound. In between the two, there is a perfect still point. This still point is what I talked about in the first episode or first video. This is what produces a shift and a new form. It's that still point, also called the point of void or the space of void, where there is silence. There is neither a vibration nor a light, sound. No, sorry, I just got a little bit, hang on. There is neither a vibration nor a light, oscillation. There is still point. This is where the magic happens. This is where shift becomes imminent. Magic is believed to be a myth, but that's contrast to freedom teachings. We can prove the accuracy in this method because people used to manifest and demanifest at will until we forgot how to do it. So if you're wondering who they are, in short, these are the fallen angelics, the dark avatars. They used malevolent technologies to raise our memories and downgrade our gene codes, limit us to 3 strands. That's what science says. Now we are 3 strands instead of 12 double helix DNA strands minimum. So our bodies right now aren't really ready to travel through star portals in a physical sense. That's because there are some things in our DNA and energy that still need healing and fixing in terms of mutations and distortions. But there's a cool workaround. We can send our thoughts, we can project our spirit in spirit form, we can project our consciousness through these portals and achieve the same results. So it's about an ascension and not an external ascension process. It helps our DNA wake up. It unlocks hidden parts of ourselves. So essentially, I gave you the key codes, sound and light. There is a power in sound. Sound is sacred for a good reason. Sound carries more power than light. Sound is vibration. Sound is intention. And when intention is coupled with emotion and clear visuals, it places you directly in the zone of manifestation. And that's not any sound. What we work with in freedom teachings are the sons, so PSONNS. They're written in Anahazi. These are original spoken, Anahazi is original spoken language of the angelic human. This language is important because it carries forgotten codes. It carries the codes of angelic humans to awaken their DNA, ignite the soul codes, awaken the dormant fire letter codes. So singing songs, speaking it, feeling it, applies not just to object, but to reclamation of your capacity to manifest your body through dimensions, through time cycles, and achieve expanded states of consciousness and awareness. There is power in codes as well. Okay, as you can see here, these are the codes that we work with, but that's not all. We work with other codes. Sacred codes, example, Vecca codes taught in the Keylontic science, body of work as well, working through with these codes through a process called optical pineal, or placing these codes on the body resets our template. Mathematical patterns aligned with scalar waves in your shield, which are a living part of you and of source. So when you're using that code on your body, it's not just a pretty picture with wishful thinking and optimism and makes you smile. It does that too, but it's a beautiful code that's encoded in your gene codes in your body that activates that mathematical patterns that need to activate so that you can reclaim your original divine template. These codes are sentient beings that carry knowledge and identity. They carry light and sound embedded also in your shield, providing essential mathematical alignment. In contrast, the reversal system we've been taught promotes false angelic numbers like 111, 222, 666. And that's what's being pushed out there. And while these numbers hold sacred significance, many such sequences are linked to black hole reversal mechanics. Details of that I explore extensively in my older videos, which I recommend if you wish to avoid the pitfalls of distorted New Age teachings. Movements such as the law of attraction stem from reversal teachings propagated by factions like the Great White Brotherhood, which hold historical ties to Masonic and Rosicrucian orders, tracing it back to Hermes and Thoth. And for deeper understanding of Thoth's involvement in your Merkaba reversal, you'll find a dedicated segment on our YouTube channel as well. But what else works is true alignment, because we're not just the soul, the body, the spirit, the avatar, emotional, mental, physical. We're not one or the other, we're all of it. Therefore, when manifesting, we have to always set clear intention on the I am this I am all of it. I am the whole. Living in alignment with that, harmonizing the body, harmonizing food, drink, emotions, what you hold in your emotional body, mental patterns, beliefs about yourself, beliefs that no longer work, intentions about yourself and about others that don't serve any good purpose, the wisdom that you hold, the way of understanding the truth and how you express it, your spiritual presence, and not just integrating the shadow and the higher self. These all become very important for alignment, attaining alignment. Then comes the next thing is breathing in the alignment, using the sacred sound, the key codes, and intention, and really working on expansion of the self, accreting frequency, and you become a walking manifester. That's the key. Manifestation is alchemy. It's an alchemical process. It begins and ends with self-work. And when you align all these together, magic starts flowing. You're no longer wishing now. You're aligned. Therefore, you're embodied and embodying power of manifestation. You can even assist others. You can take other people in your shield, but that's another segment. So, what's left is, I guess this is the last thing I'm going to talk about today, is healing the spleen, because healing the spleen is important because it's an interface between etheric flame and the incarnate physical body. So to restore our feeling, manifestation capacity, we must begin healing the spleen and as the essential interface between these different bodies. When we heal the spleen, we repair the multidimensional template, and the dormant centers in our body start to naturally open up. So this approach draws primarily from the freedom teachings, as they do, in my experience, offer reliable methods to reconnect these currents and dissolve seals and reignite our manifestation potential. So that's I just want to give a quick recap now to end the session. So what doesn't work? False positivity, journaling without truth, low frequency tools like using colors of the lower chakras like red. They're all surface level techniques. They may work, they may very well work, but they don't offer long-term results. Sound tones, full alignment create real transformation. You're already manifesting weekly. I know that I experience time shifts as frequency expands. This is why tuning into truth, into heart, into emotions, intentions, thoughts, and your spiritual body, these all really, really matter. So you are already manifesting. You're manifesting weekly. And you may know this, and it may not be very clear, but you are. What you're putting in is what you're putting out is what you're seeing happen in front of you. So make different choices if you want a different outcome. So now you know why I'm obsessed with freedom teachings. Well, that's obsession with freedom teachings fully justified. I believe I manifested the freedom teachings. I'm responsible for manifesting what happens in my life, and I can attest to the truth in all this. Kelontic science techniques matter deeply, but mentally understanding it is only half. Applying it is the key, and it's not always 1, 2, 3, just simple like that. It can be simple with a little guidance, with discipline and commitment. It's very possible. And so for that reason, I'm going to be giving you a little guidance with a technique that I will be sharing with you. It's a core technique that Matt and I have been working on. And for a small energy exchange, this will be available to you through our website. It's a powerful tool. I took a lot of time and dedication and love to refine it. It's not ready, but it will be soon. And it will be available for you if you wish to experience this particular technique. So I'll leave you now. Just remember, you are divine, you are a walking portal, you're an angelic human, and you manifest with each breath. Don't ever forget that. I hope you took notes today. I'll see you next time. Omni love.
Trust that a profound transformation is underway. As your thoughts and emotions realign, your energy and frequency naturally adapt and harmonize in response. As you breathe in and out, declare, I choose to live by the universal law of one.